In Fable Legends, 4 hero players team up together to embark on quests, while a 5th villain player commands the forces of darkness in an attempt to stop them. Quests are divided up into multiple stages. In each stage, the villain can manipulate the environment and send creatures to attack the heroes, while the heroes try to progress by slaying creatures and completing objectives. Over the course of the quest, the villain's goal is to wear the heroes down until they run out of health and can ultimately be defeated. As the level begins, the heroes will be choosing their abilities, talking to characters in the holding area, and generally preparing for the quest ahead. As the villain, you will be looking at the level from above. It's your job to plan which creatures the heroes are going to face and which traps will stand in their way. A timer in the top right of the screen tells you how long you have until setup phase is over. We'll cover setup phase in more detail as part of another tutorial, but for now, the easiest way to set up is to select a template. Press up and down on the D-pad to select which template you want to load. We've made a few for each level, so you should try them all out. If you prefer to try your luck with unplanned creature placement, press right or left on the D-pad to cycle through random layouts. One basic element of the control scheme we can cover here is the camera movement. The left stick will move the camera, while the right stick allows you to zoom in and out. The mid-level of zoom is best for most situations. When the timer reaches 0, setup phase ends, and combat phase begins. This is where the villain commands their creatures and operates their traps in order to take down the heroes. If the heroes survive the first combat phase, the villain will then set up the next area. This process continues until the quest finishes, or until all the heroes are defeated. More advanced villain players might want to deviate from the templates provided in setup phase and create unique layouts of their own. Later on in development, we will introduce a dedicated setup mode where villains can spend as long as they want preparing their traps and creatures, as well as the option to save and load custom templates. For the time being, however, any changes that you make will be temporary and will have to be completed inside of the 60-second time limit. You can use the setup time to make tweaks to an existing template, or if you're feeling nimble, put together a whole new template from scratch. Select the empty template if you want to remove all of the currently placed creatures. Note that if you run out of time and haven't spent all of your budget yet, the remaining points will automatically be spent for you. During setup phase, the creature cards show you how many points each creature will cost. At the bottom of the screen, you can see how many points you have remaining to spend in that wave. Creatures must be placed on spawn pads. Move the cursor over a spawn pad and press a face button to place a creature. You can delete creatures by moving the cursor over them and pressing the left bumper. Combat between heroes and creatures is divided into individual waves. Only one wave of creatures will spawn at a time, and when they are all killed, a new wave will spawn in the next area of the level. Toggle between waves during setup using the left and right triggers. Note that the budget changes from wave to wave. Larger spaces usually come with a larger budget to spend. You can also change which creatures appear and which buttons they're assigned to. Press the menu button in setup phase, then select Change Loadout. From here, you can highlight creatures and press the face button you would like to assign them to. Any templates that you already have loaded will automatically accommodate your change of loadout. That should cover everything you need to know to play the villain in Fable Legends. As development continues, we will be adding more functionality to the villain, so keep a lookout for more announcements in the future. After setup phase has ended, the gates will open and the heroes will come out of the holding area to fight the first wave of creatures. These are your creatures. Some come in squads, while others operate alone. The colors around their feet tell you which button each unit is assigned to. Blue creatures are assigned to X, yellow creatures are on Y, red are on B, and green are on A. The creature cards in the corner of the screen also show you which buttons creatures are assigned to, as well as showing which creatures are currently in play. In this wave, we have Redcaps assigned to X, Skullchucks assigned to Y, and Lobbers are assigned to B. Depending on the template you choose, there may not be creatures mapped to every button. In this instance, we currently don't have a creature assigned to A, so the card is blank. The cards will also turn blank when the creatures assigned to them are killed. Creatures will attack on their own when a hero gets within range, but you can also give them specific attack orders. Pressing a face button will issue an attack order. For instance, if you move your cursor to a location and press X, the creatures assigned to X will attack in this area. They will attack any heroes they encounter nearby, and if no one is there, they will stay and guard the area. They will chase heroes a short distance but will always return to this point, unless given further orders. Redcaps are a melee squad, so for them an attack order means moving to that location. If we give an attack order to ranged creatures, like these Skullchucks who respond to the Y button, they will stay in place, but shoot in the direction of the attack order. Each time a wave of creatures die, a new wave of creatures will spawn in the next area. Remember to keep an eye on the creature cards in the bottom right to show you which creatures you have available. Icons at the edges of the screen will show you where off-screen units are. The hero cards show you how much health and how many potions each hero has left. If you want to target a specific hero, press the D-pad in the direction that corresponds with their card. You can lock your camera to a hero and give attack orders specifically on them. The other main tool at your disposal during combat is the Interact function, located on the right bumper. Position your cursor over an object that is flashing, then press the right bumper to interact with it. Gates throughout the levels can be opened and closed. Use these to separate the heroes and keep them from helping one another. A well-timed gate can also knock a hero to the ground. Don't worry too much about keeping your creatures alive. They are expendable. Your goal should be to wear down the hero's health over time and force them into using all of their health potions. As long as a creature is able to inflict some damage, or create a situation where something else can inflict damage, its job is done. As covered in an earlier tutorial, the face buttons can be used to issue orders to creatures. If you want to specifically order a move rather than an attack, hold the left trigger before pressing the face button. Notice that the cursor changes appearance when the left trigger is held. Any orders given when the left trigger is held will be move orders. Unlike attack orders, creatures will not stop to defend themselves while carrying out a move order. Move orders are especially important when dealing with ranged units, who will stay in place when told to attack. In order to reposition them, the villain has to use move orders. Arguably the most important type of orders the villain can give are special orders. Special orders are the element that will give a good villain the edge in battle. Unlike many other behaviors, creatures will never perform their special abilities unless specifically instructed to by the villain. Hold the right trigger and press a face button to order a special attack. Each type of creature has their own unique special attack. Special orders have a cooldown. Once a special has been completed, you will have to wait until the cooldown is over until you can order it again. Check the indicator on the creature cards to see how long is left on each cooldown. Try experimenting with other creatures in the game to find out how their special attacks work. Each creature has their own unique one. When giving orders to creatures, watch out for the order line turning red. If the line is red, that means the creatures cannot complete the order. This could be because their special ability is on cooldown, because they can't reach the destination, or because they are currently unable to move. Sometimes you might give a creature an order, but then change your mind about it a few moments later. The left bumper is your cancel button. Tapping this will cancel the last order that you gave. When you press a face button to give an order, that order will be given to the creature who can respond the quickest. In most cases, this method will quickly select the right unit for the job. In some instances, though, you may want to select a creature who is further away. If you hold down an order button, you will see a preview of which creature is going to be selected. With the order button still held, you can now move the left stick to select a different unit. Colored edges throughout the environment give the villain extra information. An orange bar tells you that heroes and creatures can see and shoot over this obstacle. A blue bar tells you that heroes and creatures can jump down from this point. When you only have one creature left alive in a wave, they will become highlighted. Heroes can see this highlight too, allowing them to track your last creature from anywhere on the map. You can use this to your advantage, setting up traps for your last creature to lead heroes into. Each stage is littered with traps that the villain can use to surprise, separate, and damage the heroes. This is a mine. The circle around it shows how close a hero has to get to make it explode. During setup phase, the right bumper can be used to pick up mines and pressed again to drop them. Mines cannot be moved again once setup phase is over, so choose their positions wisely. We have already seen gates. Use these in combat phase to keep the heroes apart and knock them over. You can also use them to give time for your creatures to retreat or to trap the heroes somewhere that they can be ambushed. This is a standing stone. Interact with one to activate it. Any creature stood within the radius of an active standing stone will have their health restored, but while the standing stone is active, it is also vulnerable to attacks from heroes. Interact again to switch off active standing stones. They can also be moved like mines in setup phase, but can only be placed in predetermined areas. Other objects in the map may react to villain interactions in unique ways. Watch out for a glowing effect on objects to signify when you are able to interact with them.